What is up everyone, RHYDON here, and welcome to today's video and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be taking a look at RHYDON in the Open Ultra League. RHYDON is a ground and rock type Pokemon with a moveset of Mud Slap, Stone Edge, and Surf. And I don't recommend using it at all, it's very terrible, but I had a lot of fun with it and I was able to rack up some decent wins with it. In this video you'll be seeing a 4-in-1 set and 3 bonus battles. Before I dive into the video, I just want to give a special shout out to my Spotify page. If you enjoy the music used in this video and other videos, consider checking out my Spotify page. You have access to all of my releases and uploads, as well as any songs that you might not have heard in this video or other videos. That being said, I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. Alright, and hopping into the first game, picking up a lead Gyarados into Scizor. This is quite awkward since both of our fast moves are resisted. However, my opponent surrenders and that is game, set, and match. Must not have liked seeing the Gyarados there. Hopping into game number 2, leading Gyarados into Giratina Altered. This is a great lead for us. We'd rather see the Giratina here, but then my opponent pivots into a Genesect, and we have Emboar to respond. Look at those Embers absolutely tearing through the shiny Genesect. They hit us with a Techno Blast, but it is a move we can survive, and we leave with very minimal farm for whatever they come in with, but they come in with an Excadrill, and Excadrill will shield up the Blast Burn. Embers, though, do some nice damage to it, and now I could just bring in the RHYDON. RHYDON here is going to commit to the Mud Slap farm down. Look at those Mud Slaps absolutely tearing through this Excadrill. Now, here's an interesting play. I decide to let the RHYDON go down, and this is because I want to come in with the Gyarados and get in some energy, knowing that the Gyarados is basically our win condition up against this Giratina. So I'm going to go for the Crunch here. Crunch here will do some solid damage onto the Giratina Altered. Opponent is going to throw a move, but I'm going to shield it out of caution just in case it is the Ancient Power. Unfortunately, just a Dragon Claw. My opponent surrenders, and that is game, set, and match. Hopping into game number 3, picking up a very awkward lead Gyarados into Walrein. Our moves are non-stab, whereas Walrein's are stab, and because of that and Gyarados' rather frail bulk in the Ultra League, Walrein tends to win this matchup. It also helps that Walrein outpaces us in this. So I look to bank a ton of energy on the Gyarados, switch, and try to catch. However, my opponent does not make the Earthquake, so this is still the Icicle Spear, and we resist that. Opponent comes in with Haxorus, and I'm able to reach a Rock Slide before going down, but it looks like my opponent's just going to commit to the full counter down. It would be very nice if they throw their energy. Opponent gets the full counter down, which is quite unfortunate. From here, I pretty much have to come in with Gyarados. Gyarados here is going to have to drop 2 shields up against the Haxorus. However, these breaking swipes will probably make it so that way they reach a 3rd move. So I end up just letting it go through, and this battle is essentially over. RHYDON is very allergic to counter, so this is a terrible matchup here. And now that we're debuffed, I commit the rare top left. Hopping into game number 4, picking up a lead Gyarados into Aggron. I have 2 better responses in the back, so I'm going to switch into Emboar. Emboar here is taking neutral from these smackdowns, and we don't have a fighting type move, but my opponent does not know that, and they pivot into a Walrein. Walrein is best seen here on this Emboar because Emboar has the ability to hit for super effective with Rock Slide, as well as resisting their main moves of Powder Snow and Icicle Spear. So opponent goes for the Icicle Spear, I'm able to call it, and I'm able to reach another Rock Slide here on the CMP tie. Opponent is going to shield that up, and I'm just going to mirror shields here and play for switch. Opponent goes for the Icicle Spear, but we should be able to Ember down from this range. Emboar gets the farm down. Opponent sends in the Aggron again. I try to commit to the move, but I'm not able to get there. But this allows us to send in RHYDON, and look at the Mud Slaps absolutely wrecking this Aggron. They will throw the Heavy Slam, which does hit me for super effective, but I am able to tank it. They come in with Venusaur, and I come in with Gyarados. This is quite scary because Venusaur hits very hard against both of my back Pokemon. RHYDON takes double super effective, Gyarados takes neutral. Going for the Aqua Tail bait here, needing the shield. Opponent doesn't give it to me, which is quite unfortunate. Can Gyarados get to the Crunch? Yes, it can. Does my opponent shield it up? They do. And RHYDON comes in, and you're going to see a rare sight of a ground and rock type KOing a grass type. Surf takes out the Venusaur. Opponent's Aggron gets farmed down as well, and we take the win. Hopping into the final game of this set, leading Gyarados into Swampert. This is a tremendously good lead for us. Gyarados resists everything Swampert can throw except for Sludge Wave, but most Swamperts aren't running it. and to make matters better, the Swampert is staying in. This is very good because our backline does terrible up against Swampert, so we're just going to go here for the Crunch. Crunch here does more damage than Aqua Tail. I'm not sure if it's more energy efficient. I was really hoping for a defense drop. However, we don't get it, but that's okay. Opponent is going to throw a Hydro Cannon. They're going to pivot into a Charm Clefable, and I didn't really think about Charmers when I was creating this team, so I do pivot into Emboar. Emboar doesn't do particularly well here because its fire and fighting typing means the charms are neutral, and it's not that bulky to begin with, so it's not like it can sponge this damage real well. However, we are able to make it to 2 Rock Slides, and this Rock Slide gets the Clefable quite low. I'm thinking from here the play is to come in with Gyarados after waiting the switch clock, and look to shield up whatever move they reach, and commit to an ultra aggressive Dragon Breath farm down. Hopefully the Charm doesn't KO us, Charm does not KO, and we get the farm down, which is quite nice. Opponent will be sending in a Talonflame, and we're going to go for the Aqua Tail here. Aqua Tail will grab my opponent's final shield, and now we can bring in RHYDON. All RHYDON has to do is reach the Stone Edge to one-shot the Talonflame. We can basically no-shield whatever they throw. Flame Charge is going to be resisted, and now I reach the Stone Edge. Stone Edge will one-shot the Talonflame. Get out of here. And now it's just that Swampert in the back, so my opponent surrenders, and that is game, set, and match. And now claiming our set rewards from this. Here I got a double XS Wooloo, and this will make for a very unique double in the Great League. But don't go anywhere because we have 3 more bonus battles for you, starting off with the first bonus battle, leading Gyarados into Lugia. Lugia would crush my backline, so it's very good to see it here. Lugia is staying in as well, so this is quite nice. I'm going to go for the Crunch on what I thought was the CMP tie. Opponent goes for the extra, so that's a smart play. Crunch is able to get the shield here, and because they're shielding, I'm just going to match shields here. Dragon Tails are really adding up, and a Sky Attack would probably KO from this range, so Gyarados will shield up. I'm going to double shield here. I really don't want my backline seeing this Lugia, so Gyarados will double shield, and now I'm just going to go for the Aqua Tail once I have enough energy for back-to-back. Aqua Tail is not quite going to KO. I'm hoping for the shield here. Opponent doesn't give it to me, but we do get the Dragon Breath farm down. Opponent is hesitating a bit. Hopefully they're weak. Opponent sends in a Swampert. That's so nice to see. Gyarados here is going to go for the Aqua Tail, but we need to get rid of the Swampert before they can Mudshot us down or reach a move. Gyarados is going for the second Aqua Tail. Opponent lets that go through as well. Gyarados versus Swampert. Gyarados gets the Dragon Breath farm down, and Swampert is out of the way. This means my backline is safe. Shadow Gardevoir in the back shields up the Aqua Tail, and you know what, this is a RHYDON feature, so I'm going to come in with it. Hopefully we can make it to the Stone Edge, and if we do, it will one-shot the Shadow Gardevoir. We survive the charms, make it to the Stone Edge, get out of here Shadow Gardevoir, and we take the win. Hopping into the second bonus battle, picking up a lead Gyarados into Dragonite. This is very good for us because Dragon Breaths will hit them for super effective damage. Opponent sends in Melmetal, and now we can bring in Emboar here. And Emboar is one of the rare fire types that actually takes neutral from these rock slides, so we can body one with basically zero issue. I'm going to reach the Blast Burn here on the CMP tie. If my opponent wants to keep their Melmetal and fight for switch, they have to shield it up, but instead they get Flame Charred. In comes Dragonite. Dragonite will get the full Dragon Breath farm down, which is quite unfortunate. Gyarados is going to come back in and absorb this energy. We're going to shield with the first one. It's just the Dragon Claw here. Gyarados is trying to farm down, but Dragonite does reach a second Dragon Claw. This will start to get my Gyarados quite low. However, they have Excadrill in the back, and unfortunately at a shield disadvantage, RHYDON can't win this, but these Mud Slaps are still going to do a ton of work. Excadrill goes for the Drill Run. I do shield it up. I'm able to make it to the Surf, and Surf will KO the Excadrill if they don't shield it up. Opponent commits the shield, and Excadrill has to fire their energy, otherwise they would have been fully farmed down. Hopefully Gyarados can Dragon Breath farm down from this range. If we do, we win the game. Gyarados gets the farm down. In comes the Dragonite. That's going to get farmed down as well, and we take the win. Hopping into the final battle today, picking up a lead Gyarados into Rayquaza. Another really good lead for Gyarados because Dragon Breaths will just eat away at this Rayquaza. Opponent is staying in as well, so perhaps they're weak to Gyarados somewhere in the back. I am going to look to no-shield the Breaking Swipe as it will not KO. I'm going to look to try and Dragon Breath farm down. Opponent comes in with Lucario, and I send an Emboar. These Embers are doing massive damage onto the Lucario. They're only going to be able to reach one move, so I suspect they go full Shadow Ball, and they do, and I'm going to be able to shield it up and farm down. In comes the Rayquaza, but I can fire back here with the Rock Slide. Rock Slide will do super effective damage and likely take out the Rayquaza, so I'm able to get my shield back. I'm able to reach a second, but unfortunately the new mechanic fails, and I'm going to come in with the Gyarados. Gyarados here, after waiting the switch clock, should be able to reach the Aqua Tail, and this will threaten a shield here from the Rayquaza if they want to keep it alive. Rayquaza shields, they want to get off the debuff, but I'm going to shield up because I want to farm down. It's going to be a race, Dragon Tail versus Dragon Breath. Gyarados gets the farm down first, and in the back is a Gengar, and these Mud Slaps already have Gengar basically at half health. All I need to do here is reach the Surf. RHYDON reaches the Surf. This will KO the Gengar from this range, and it will give us the win. Overall, RHYDON is certainly not a Pokemon that I would recommend for any sort of competitive play. However, it was quite fun to use, and I enjoyed racking up wins with it when I could. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.